Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone. Today we're going to be building the following chart. It's week over week revenue broken out by day of week, so it allows you to compare, for example, the current week's Monday with the prior week's Monday for all days of week. In my opinion, this is a pretty useful chart, so let's build it together in SQL Server. Okay, so in SQL Server we have the following revenue table, and this is just revenue transactions. So the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out what the max date time is in this table. Of course, you can build the same reporting off of SQL Server's built-in getDate function, but it's best to identify what the max date time value is because sometimes that value will be different from what the current date time is. And that could be due to delays in ETLs or what have you, so it's really important to minimize the risk in breaking any reporting by identifying and using the max date time in your table. So let's do that. Okay, so this is actually a perfect example to write a SQL window function that'll return the max date time in this table and scribe it onto every record in this table so that we can use it. So we want the max purchase date. Okay, so what this window function is doing is it's identifying the value for the max purchase date in this table, and it's going to take that value and it's going to scribe it onto every record in this table in this field that we created here. Now you see this over partition by name, right? What we're saying is we want you to search through all the records in this table and find the max purchase date, right? We don't need it to be dimensionalized, right? We don't need to see the max purchase date for a particular customer ID or a particular purchase amount. We want to see it across all records. So to do that, we did an over partition by name, right? And you notice that in this name column, the value is the same for every row. It's just revenue. So you can see it as kind of like a methodology to put a placeholder value or a dummy value here in this over by statement so that by default what it does is it'll return the max purchase date value across all records indiscriminately. And there you go. So the max purchase date value is August 20th. And that was basically successfully scribed on every record in this table. So we're going to create a subselect, right, and just reference the data from this query result. And here's what we need to do. Using this max purchase date value and column that we have right here, we're going to use that to return the last 14 days from this value, because that'll allow us to compare Monday to Monday and do it for every day of week until we have basically 14 dates. So we'll do where A okay. We're not going to need this column. We don't need this. So let's convert this purchase date to day of week. So instead of getting a date, we actually get Friday or Monday. So we'll use a date name for this. Let's aggregate revenue to these dates. We need to add a group by because we use an aggregate function. We also need to do here is we need to be able to identify whether the record is in the current week or the prior week. So let's put this here. This needs to be prior week. We will call this column period. So if it was in the prior week period or the current week period. And then we need to add this in the group by, but without the column name. Okay. So when the purchase date is less than or equal to 7 days ago or earlier, it's going to be prior week. If not, it'll be current week. Okay. So this looks pretty good. Let's order this data by actual date. Okay, fantastic. So we have Wednesday here in the prior week. We have one in the current week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then 7 days later, another Saturday. Okay. Sunday and Monday the 19th. Great. And then this 820, remember, is the max date that we have in our revenue table. Okay, so we're ready to take this to Excel. So what we can do is we can build a pivot table. Put the period here. Day of week here. Do a summation of revenue. Just remove these blanks. And here is our beautiful histogram. So I really like this because let's say you're walking around the office and someone says, hey, revenue yesterday was low, right? And typically when people make statements like that, it's, well, compared to what? Compared to prior week. So with this SQL query, you can basically build this chart and do that type of comparative analysis. And again, I will allow you to beautify this chart. But that is essentially how to build it in a fail-proof way by using the max date time in the SQL table rather than using any built-in functions. Thank you so much for joining today's tutorial. I hope this has helped. Please continue to like and subscribe.